Welcome to Let's Unpack Your Why. This is a safe place to celebrate your authentic self and discover your purpose. Each episode, we dive into honest conversations about deeper purpose behind our journeys. My name is Shayla Diamond, and today we're excited to have Tay joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Tay?
Yes, I'm a creative, I'm a writer. I've been writing all my life as long as, I've been able to put pen to pad, I've been writing. And as long as I've had the sense to share it, I've been sharing it as well. So, it's a huge passion of mine. I'm currently working on a book of poetry, tear flavored taffy. So that's been a labor of love, and it's a collection of about 30 some odd poems about, you know, the Black experience, the Black American experience specifically. And it really puts kind of that at the forefront for the catalyst of, the events that transpire within, the different poems. It's really, that body of work, you can tell it's like from the lens of, like a Black woman. Because that's how I look out, because like that's how people like look at me, you know? Like oftentimes, my work, it really does make space for like very complex feelings surrounding like race and oppression, and the historical context of that, because we're entering kind of like an age of people are kind of acting like it's kind of in the past. Whereas like my father, he was, in school, like I believe middle school, when desegregation happened. So it really wasn't, that long ago. And my work, it really kind of emphasizes like the ancestral wounds of kind of what we're going through, and the new wounds that we're getting on a daily basis as well, like as a people. Um, just with the lynching, femicides, just everything that's kind of going on in our community, that is spoken about in my work.
Yeah. And I know that you showed me one of the poems, and I love how beautifully you are able to like transcribe what we're going through into like a beautiful piece of art. You speak deeply, and then you like it's authentic because you are a Black woman, you're experiencing these things. And I do want to say about like people think it's so far in the past. I know that like when we're learning about it in school, like through movies or textbooks, they purposely put the pictures in black and white, so it
Mhm.
seems like it's so far away, but it's pretty recent and
Yeah.
it's current as well. So I love that you're able to express that no matter what type of feedback you get, which we'll get into in a little bit. I know that you posted something for 4th of July, and I was looking at
Hmm.
those comments and I was like, whoa, we where are people going? We lost
Hmm.
lost the purpose. But I wanted to see because you said that you started writing very young and you started sharing your work. Is there anything that motivated you to start sharing?
Yeah, one of my very first poems, my dad has it framed in the living room in his house. It's called Hope. I wrote that when I was 12, and it was very inspiring. I performed it, I believe, at the school, the end of the year ceremony that they do. I performed it at one of those. It was. I mean, it had to be something for them to want me to like recite it in front of the entire like assembly during the award ceremony. So, that's kind of when I realized like, hey, like I might actually be good with words a little bit. And yeah, like it's very natural. Like it's almost as natural as eating or breathing, the way that the words kind of like flow. Like it's not like a lot of people, they'll ask me about what's your process? What's your process? And I'm like, honestly, it's a very natural process. I just write what makes sense to me at the time.
And that's how you know it's coming from the heart and it's your passion because it's so easy for you to do.
It's easy to initially put pen to pad. The refinement process, like the editing process, can be really tough.
Yeah.
But like when I'm any draft that I make, it probably only takes like a couple minutes, because it's really coming from a a place of like I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just putting pen to pad. But like the editing process, that can take like weeks because I might tweak it over time. You know, you just never know. But the whole process of like a rough draft for my work, it only takes like a couple minutes to do a rough draft for like a poem because it often comes from a place of true, genuine emotion.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also think you said that your dad framed your first piece of work, and I think that's really important too. Like having that support, that definitely can drive motivation as well. So now talking about challenges that you faced. So with, poor feedback or like criticism from viewers, how do you stay motivated and keep creating and expressing yourself authentically, no matter what hate you get?
Wow, that's a really good question. Yeah, I'm gonna sit with that one for a second. I don't like want to come across as arrogant when I say this, but sometimes it's easy to withstand certain feedback, especially when it's coming from a place of xenophobia, a place of racism, a place of like white supremacy. It's kind of easy to brush that off, I would say, because I know that it's coming from a place of like true malice. Like some of the, does it bother me to a certain extent, but I can't help but, I mean, it's terrible, but like I think I've just been through so much in my life as a Black woman that I think I opened that post. I was out for brunch with my sister, and it said, um, okay, you know the guy from 12 Years a Slave? That's what he called me. He called me the guy from 12 Years a Slave. And it was kind of like, huh, so you know that man's story and you know that he was a freeman, um, like a skilled trades person up north. They kidnapped him, brought him down south from his family, his daughters and his wife, and enslaved him illegally by, and we know that the laws at that time were very barbaric and very loose. But even by the loose and barbaric laws at that time, it was illegal to take a freed Black person and enslave them. So like they didn't even do that properly. They stole that man and they stole his life. And I guess when I see stuff like that, it's like that helps me understand like you'll never really see me and you never really cared. So it's easy to kind of disregard that type of stuff and those types of people because that's kind of inherited. It's a bit ancestral. Like I inherited that hate. Like it's been 400 years of it. Like it's not anything new. It's not anything original. Like sometimes I laugh at some of the comments I get. Like literally, I'm like, this is so unoriginal. Like because you can and it doesn't matter. Like I think it's kind of freeing a little bit because I know I'm a historian to a certain extent. Like I was nominated for the governor's honors program for social studies for history, like when I was in advanced US history. And so I paid a lot of attention to just like the my place and my people's place in this country. And they've never liked us. They've never done right by us. They've never been fair towards us. So I think it's freeing because when I look at the history and I realize like the centuries and centuries of mistreatment, it's like, well, I kind of might as well do what I want to do, you know? Because you're going to, because of your prejudice and your bias, dislike me anyway or judge me however, you're gonna judge me. Those people like, that were on that post, their minds were already made up, period. Like they're not receptive to um anything like because I can sit here and I can say, okay, this is the truth. This is what I've studied. This is what's in the books. But that's not gonna do anything to a person that doesn't want to hear that. So it's like at the end of the day, all I can do is be authentically me because I think that's the best revenge against those types of people is to just like still maintain my beliefs, maintain my education, like continue to read, continue to educate myself on the horrors and the harms that befell my people, and that continue to befall them today, like as recently as like, even like, and I think I really appreciate you bringing up the 4th of July post because when you juxtapose that against the black boy, like Nolan Wells, who just died on 4th of July, out with his white friends at the a secluded island or something. Like it's like how can we live in a country presently, like in 2026, where your brother or your boyfriend or your husband or your whatever can go off with his white friends and not come back and no consequences will like like you just dead.
Yeah.
You just gone. Like you just gone. And that's not a new thing. They've been doing that they did it in 1940, they did it in 1840, they did it in 1740, they did it in 1640. Like they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So it's kind of like there's no because I am so much of a historian and because I know that they've been doing that for a very long time, it helps me not really be upset. Because these people, the same way that I inherited like the abuse, like they inherited being the abuser and the oppressor. They were taught to oppress us. Like that's like because in order for the system to somewhat function, there has to be winners and there has to be losers. And they've already determined that we're the losers and that they're the winners. So that's just kind of the reality that we're at. Obviously, I want like I listen to like a change is gonna come all the time. Like obviously I do want a change to come. But I'm also disheartened that we're having the same conversations as Dr. King like years, decades later.
Yeah, definitely. You said a lot of insightful things I want to touch back on. Um, First, what we were recently talking about, like with Nolan, um, it's not just like with a group of friends. Like you call a police officer to your home, the lady who passed because the police officer killed her in her own home. George Floyd going shopping, get the police called on you, and so it's everywhere, and it's very sad, it's very scary, and like what really shocked me, like we know people are ignorant, but the fact that it's 2026 and it is a repeat, like history is repeating itself, and the fact that so many people are still unaware about how it affects us today, and they just think like, oh, that's my ancestors. I don't deal with that.
I
Like,
would like to challenge that.
mhm,
I don't think people are as unaware as they claim to be or as they appear to be.
mhm,
Because it's really hard not to see it. Like, it's hard not to see someone being treated it's hard not to see someone putting someone's knee on their neck. Like, so I sorry, that's just like it's a tough one because I still think about it to this day. Like just like for a lot of people, it was just a phase. Like Black Lives Matter, like was just like a phase. Like people, would say things like, "Oh, Black Lives Matter is over." It's never over. Not if like if we're still living, this it's never gonna be over. Like it can't be because we're still to this day experiencing oppression and it varies like it's so bad to the point that we're even kind of doing it to ourselves a little bit you know like like with Nolan Wells I know a lot of people are saying he should have known better than to go out there with him and everything and I challenge that in a way of like black boys should be able to fucking be frivolous and whimsical. If they want to go out to the islands and stuff, they should be able to. But we live in a country and in a world where there's a good chance they might come back that. I know that it comes from a good place where people are like, well, he should have never been there in the first place. He should never been there in the first place. It's just like I know people come from a place of like they want to protect the Black youth, but I resent that. And the reason that I resent it is because we should be able to be just as free as them.
Free, exactly, yeah. They put us in a box and we can only do this and that to stay safe. And that it's a sad life that we live. Um, and it's you want to say it's getting better, like people are opening up and waking up. Um, but I think we have to create that safety for ourselves. And we can't always trust everybody who's smiling in our face. And we gotta connect to our roots and stick with our kind. Um, and that doesn't mean skin color, doesn't mean that means the people who think like you.
Yeah.
So talking about all this, I know it could be a tearjerker for some, it could be triggering. So how do you stay grounded and present while you're creating, and writing about these tough topics?
The grounding is the writing.
Mhm. I like
Like
that.
I feel like that's how I stay grounded. I stay grounded like by writing. Like, there's been a lot of kind of femicides in Atlanta, specifically on the MARTA train and on the Beltline and such. Like I wrote a poem called MARTA Murders, and that really helped me kind of process the dangers that are around me. And it helped me to kind of reimagine it in a way where I'm not scared of the men, you know? Actually, I haven't put this one out yet if you want to hear it.
Yes, I was gonna ask to hear it.
The
And before you start, I just want to say thank you I feel like this is a very vulnerable, like putting your feelings in writing. It's a very
Mhm.
vulnerable craft. I just want to thank you for sharing it with others and inspiring others. But yes, go ahead. I want to hear.
No, thank you. Because, like again, a lot of the poems in my tear flavored taffy book, they're years old, and it just kind of took me a while to get comfortable with kind of publishing them and like putting them out because a lot of these works they come from a place of it reflects where we are in the world and in the country, and we haven't really been in a good place for a while. So obviously, it some of it's pretty heavy, and it's not for everybody. I've made my peace with that. My work isn't for everybody. Nobody's work is. Like, I'm an artist. So this is called Martyr Murders, and I wrote it because it was around the time that there was that news story that broke about that woman that was stabbed unprovoked on the train. So that really kind of stuck with me for a while because, is she was just minding her business, and she unfortunately was a she's now a victim, and that's I think so often we experience victimhood that I think that that's a real fear for me. Marta murders. It's 2:30. I'm slipping on my shoes. They're my brothers. They're brand new. They make noises, brand new shoes do. The dog twitches at the squeak, but he doesn't open his eyes, not a wink. His sleep continues. Before leaving, I slip on a sports bra and a hoodie too. When I make it onto the bus, it's 2:32. It smells like damp wood and mildew. Sour smells seep from several dudes, all nefarious looking, scarily rude. I scan the bus and I look for my muse, and my eyes settle on one that won't make the news. The bus sputters to a stop. I stumble off. No street lamps. It's dark. There's nothing to protect me from the night, save for the guy from the bus who pulled out a torch, very bright. It was all we had to decipher the left from the right. As the bus went about its route, with its dimming light trailing behind, I followed behind him to be able to see he didn't seem to mind. He slowed his stride to accommodate my size. He seemed nice. I caught up and I caught him by surprise. I'll never forget the look in his eyes or the sound he made, like gargling water as he choked on my blade. He went down easier than the books told. It's as simple as a knife to the throat, and it's over in a brushstroke. He was so heavy, but easy to roll. He was round, plump, and old. He looked like my grandpa, truth be told. I sat with him for a while by the ditch. I got in his wallet, saw his name was Rich. I chuckled a bit, looked at him, and I told him that you're too luck poor for a name like this. It was 2:32. It was 3:32 when the bus driver came back east, and 4:32 when I went back home and sat in the mudroom untying my cleats. I woke up my family. The dog barked at me.
Wow. I'm in love. Will you marry me? The
Possibly.
the way you, first of all, it was like I feel like it was like a little twist, like and then you change the perspective, and it's like the woman is the murderer, and I love that. Um, and like she just goes about her day, and then she goes back home, and it's like nothing happened. And I feel like that's so like that's how these men feel about the women that they're hurting, and I just love how you put it into words, and it flows so beautifully. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Like you get it. Like it really helped me process the femicides because it's like, you know, in media as well as in real life, a lot of the times people don't, see women in any way as a threat. So like as you're like listening to the poem or as you're reading it, it's easy to kind of see like, huh, what's she doing? I hope she's safe. It's late at night, it's early in the morning. What's she doing out at 2:30? But then you realize what is she doing out at 2:30? You know? Like, and like the way that I wrote it is like the guy is bigger than her. Like he had to slow his, steps because like if someone's super tall and they're walking at the same pace as you, they're walking like further than you. So it's like, he's trying to like accommodate her. Like she's obviously smaller in size than him, but she's just able to really take advantage of the small moment of kindness that the man had for him and in his life. And that's kind of what happens every day to women. Like a man will take advantage of the small kindness or big kindness, whatever, that she's put, bestowed upon him. And that's it. Like he takes her life, he takes her away from her children, he takes her away from her family, from her church, from her job, from her community. And I see it happen over and over again. So to write that, it felt really good. Like it helped me process those emotions and to kind of flip the script and say, you know what? Why should I be scared? Why shouldn't you be scared?
I love that. Very empowering. Thank you for sharing. I got chills.
Ah, thank you.
Is it going in the book?
Oh, 100%.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna need to buy like 10 copies. Um, so my next question for you is how has your why or purpose evolved over time?
I feel like I used to just write because I liked it, like not really using it as a coping mechanism or not really like I feel like I just used to do it because I liked it. But I feel like as I've grown and matured into a woman, um, I can't help but try to use my words to just like bring voice to the issues that I see around me. Like I can't remember exactly who said this quote. There was a very like famous ancestor that was she said, I believe she said, if you're quiet about, what you're going through or your grief or the wrongs that people do you, then they'll just say that you liked it. Like I feel like for me to just sit and be quiet and just keep it all in, that's not productive. Like I think that it's a sign of resistance to just like be out loud with your pain. Like in literally, like people tell me all the time, like I'm loud, like or whatever, but like I'm not gonna say that's a microaggression, but oftentimes, I was just out at like Puckshot the other day, and there's a group of like white girls. I mean, there were some guys there too, but I was specifically focused on the girls because they were screaming every time they hit like a ball, and it's like, yeah, I know the vibe. Like, okay, we're cool. Like, we're having a good time. but it was like to the extent to where it was like very distracting. Like my ear was a little like kind of ringing to a bit. And it's like no one's over there telling them that they're annoying, you know? No one's over there telling them that they're loud, you
Ratchet.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like it obviously it's hard to always be like kind of be on the defensive and kind of always be on the receiving end of someone trying to just oppress you or control you or make you feel bad or police you. But I think that it has strengthened me in a way because I think it frees me to just really like be myself. Like as an adult, I didn't always have that, but like as an adult, I believe that I can just really be myself and express a certain honesty in my writing that I would not have been able to achieve.
So if your younger self was listening to this podcast, what would you say to her?
Oh, I would say, girl, have your way because all the time that you spend trying to like please other people. You can't please people that don't want to be pleased. Like it's a losing battle. Like that's just a waste of your energy. Like there's the halo effect and the horn effect. You learn about it in college. Like in your psychology 101. When someone views you positively, everything that you do is positive. When someone views you negatively, everything that you do is negative. So it really just boils down to how someone views you. And you can't control that. So just peep shit and move accordingly.
Beautifully said. Yes. And I feel like a lot of women, especially Black women, don't realize that or learn that until it's later on in their lives. Yeah, the fact that we're in our 20s and we're learning that now and that we could teach our future generations that at a younger age is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Do you
Yeah.
have anything else you want to share with us?
Just that I'm really glad that you reached out to me. I'm really glad that you kind of had me. Thank you for making it like a safe space to be able to, share these things. These are very like heavy topics. I think sometimes we forget how heavy they are because we have to carry them very consistently, like on a daily basis. But these are very heavy topics, and I just really thank you for making the space to even have the conversation.
Yes, well, thank you for joining and sharing your experience. I feel like your story is a reminder to connect to your roots and do what makes you happy. Don't try to please everybody else because you can't control what they feel.
Yeah.
To our listeners, we hope that today's conversation helps you unpack your why and motivates you to discover your inner diamond. Until next time.
Bye.